Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is 3-Chord Dave, and today we got some new guitars from Gibson and from Epiphone, and they're stupid. Yes guys, Gibson have finally gotten themselves ready for NAMM. They're only 8 weeks late. Not too bad if you ask me. Finally, we have a big kind of week. I think they've announced a good bit of new gear over the last week, last few days. And there's a couple of things I want to particularly focus on, especially because they're stupid. So there you go. So yes, it's not April Fool's Day, but Gibson / Epiphone have released a USA built Epiphone Casino for $3,000. That's right. If you choose to, you can purchase an Epiphone for $3,000. And it looks like this. It looks nice. They have all the stuff on there that you would expect an Epiphone Casino to have. However, so does this, which is an Epiphone Casino from last year, made in the Far East, of course, but it costs like less than that. In fact, according to Epiphone's website today, and you never would pay this price, it's $649. It's like 5 times the price. So what? Also, they make this cool olive green one in the 2020 version that costs $650. So why would you not buy that? It makes no sense. They've released this, and obviously, listen, they're building these guitars in the same factory as a lot of the Gibson stuff that they're doing. They are, master built. It's absolutely, essentially a Gibson guitar. They're just putting the Kalamazoo headstock on and calling it an Epiphone. Does that make it any better? Does that make it any worse? Does that make it worth $3,000? No. No, it doesn't. Especially when you consider another thing that they've released for around the $3,000 mark is this. This is the Slim Harpo signature edition of the ES330, which is essentially a Casino. And, it was Gibson's answer to the Casino. Before Gibson owned Epiphone, they made very similar models of a couple of these designs, and they're essentially the same. Dog ear P90s. You got the bigger ears, you got the output jack on the front, you got the 4 control knobs, you've got the pickup selector in the same place, the pick guard's the same. So you can choose a Gibson or an Epiphone, and you can pay $3,000 for it. There's down not seems to, because listen, if somebody walks into your house and they know a little bit about guitars and they see a Gibson and an Epiphone, they're going to think the Gibson is the prestige thing in your collection. That's the more expensive thing. Or they're going to think you're a bit crazy because you spent that money on a Gibson, okay? If somebody sees the Epiphone, they're going to think you went with the budget lineup, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I have 2 Epiphones and I love them. I think they're great guitars, but I'm not going to pay $3,000 for an Epiphone, and I don't think you should either. And I think we should boycott these and start hashtagging the hell out of Gibson with WTF Gibson. So anytime I don't do a lot of tweeting and stuff, but hashtag WTF Gibson, and let's let them know this is kind of crazy. And I know that there are people out there who love the Casino and they love the origins of the Epiphone USA lineup and so on. And yeah, look, you can say, look, authentically, this is what Epiphone was for a long time, and it's only in the last 30 years that they've become this side brand to Gibson, or this budget lineup brand. And that's true as well. But honestly, if I said to you, without explaining this is a USA built guitar and it's, being built in the same factory as the Gibson by Gibson luthiers and stuff like that. If I said to you, I want you to pay $3,000 for an Epiphone, what would you do? Would you say, yes, Dave, and give me your money? In which case I got an Epiphone I want to sell you? Or would you say, no, I'll buy a Gibson for that money? Well, I think a lot of people would choose the Gibson over the Epiphone, and they happen to have released essentially 2 very similar guitars on the same day. And the Slim Harpo model has the added bonus of being a signature model, and it's kind of a cool one as well. It's got a nice little Lavelle signia on the back, which is kind of like an homage to his wife, who was his songwriting partner for a long time, wrote a lot of his hits. So Listen, I think that's a great guitar. I really like it. I think for $3,000, it's pretty much where it should be. I just don't understand why or Epiphone released a $650 dollar Epiphone Casino last year. I know, yeah, they're making them out in China. That's great. I don't care. They are fantastic guitars. I've been very tempted to buy one over the last few months. And it just doesn't seem to make any sense, though, that you released that towards the end of last year and then you release this $3,000 model this year. I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I missing something? I know, yeah, USA built. Gibson have terrible quality control. The Epiphones tend to have better quality control. I don't know. Is it worth paying $2,500 more for worse quality control, in your opinion? I don't know. But all I can say is hashtag WTF Gibson. And yeah, look, if you want to buy a USA built Epiphone Casino, you now have the choice. But hopefully, buy 6 actual Epiphones. In other Gibson news, they have released, finally, something for the 60th anniversary of the first year of production SGs, which is cool. Now, I'm a big SG fan. I wasn't until I picked up my first SG, and the story of that is kind of cool. I was going on a night out to see a Guns N' Roses tribute band with a couple of friends, and they were late picking me up. So, because my house was closer to the place we were going to, they were late. I was surfing the internet, saw an awesome deal on an SG on Thomann.com, pulled a trigger and bought it there and then was like, I've never played an SG. Why did I do that? And then it came and I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I loved it from there and then, and I encourage everyone out there to play SGs. They're great. However, the 60th anniversary is here. Of course, if you don't know, the SG, when it was introduced as a replacement to the Gibson Les Paul, because the Les Paul sales were not doing particularly well around 1959 and 1960, which is ironic because now that's what everyone wants. But they were like, oh, we got to replace the Les Paul. And the SG came out as the new Les Paul. And Les Paul hated them. You know the story. If you're into guitars, you know the story. But basically, this was the answer to Fender Stratocaster. Fender Stratocaster was selling like hotcakes. Gibson Les Paul, not so much. So they came out with the SG in 1961. It's now 60 years later, and here are 2 versions of like an anniversary, 60th anniversary edition. You've got the really cool looking Les Paul SG Standard, which obviously comes in Heritage Cherry, and it has a sideways vibrola on it, and it's fantastic. I'll tell you the price in a moment. Yeah, they're also doing a second model, which is a Polaris White 1961 Les Paul SG Custom. That's awesome. And it's also got a sideways vibrola. And it also looks like that Jimi Hendrix one that they brought out a little while ago. So yeah, that might be a thing. These do look really cool. And as a collector's edition, obviously, these are going to be expensive and they're going to be limited so much that you and I are not going to be able to afford them. So the standard is coming in at $4,999, which is a whole heap of money. But the custom, you'll be happy to know, comes in at the tiny price of $6,699. So, guitars for everybody. Yeah, look, Gibson rant, just check out the thing. It's up there, whatever it is. I do Gibson rants because they make me flipping crazy. Something I noted, which I think is hilarious on the Gibson website, they started putting on the website a little what comes with it, and it's like case included. I would hope so for nearly $7,000, and setup included. I would hope so. I would hope you would set up the guitar before sending it out when you're charging me $5,000 to $7,000 for it. But anyway, we all know what Gibson are like with quality control and playability out of the box and stuff like that. Not usually the greatest. But those have just come out. Now listen, they're cool. I do not like this, which is coming on the back of the back plate there. Sort of Born to Rock for 60 years or something like that. I'm not even going to look it up at the moment, but it looks absolutely shocking. And you should be ashamed of yourself, Gibson. Hashtag WTF Gibson. Just going to keep using that, I think. I don't have a Twitter for Three-Chord Dave, so, you guys do it. Please help me out there. So, yeah, guys, this week there's been new Gibson stroke Epiphone stuff. And listen, I don't know I'm kind of on the fence right now as to whether Gibson are doing good or doing bad since the takeover. We all know the Juskowitz era was a little bit hit and miss, more miss in the latter years, and now we've got the JC era, I guess. And is it going well? I can't tell. I really can't. At first, I was really excited about what Gibson are doing. Like 2019 was the year of Gibson, 2020 the revival of Epiphone. Everything looks great. 2021, the year they messed it up. I don't know. I think these prices are crazy for Epiphones. I don't understand why they released essentially a budget version of the Casino only to produce this $3,000 version, and then on the same day announced the Slim Harpo. Are they trying not to sell the Slim Harpo models? I don't know, but I would buy that before I'd buy an Epiphone Casino for $3,000. I don't care where it's made. You know, they're not really making a big thing of the 60th anniversary SGs, which as an SG fan, I think is a little bit weird. But, you know, they are making two really cool models there, which is, you know, the 61 Standard and the 61 Les Paul Custom SG. I mean, those are great. If you have a spare 5,000/7,000, you should absolutely not buy these guitars. They're not worth it, but they are pretty cool if you just want to recklessly spend your money. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I will be back with you again on Saturday for another video. If you could, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. That really helps, and we are so close to 2,500. We might even be there already. So please tell all your friends and family and everybody, just get them to subscribe to the channel. That'd be super cool. I'll see you again on the next one, guys. Take care.